Susan Wittenberg, Carter Booth, Dr. Shirley Smith, and I have one more member that is coming a few minutes late. The procedure is I call on the applicants. I am not taking everything in order. So I'll call on the applicants. The applicants come up. Please speak into the microphone. Everybody will need you to speak into the microphones. They will go through their application. Then the committee will ask questions. Once we're done, we will go to the public for any questions or comments. If you have not, please fill out a speaker card up here and hand it to us. If you were not planning to speak but decide to speak, just raise your hand or come on up and I call on the public and you can pick up the speaker card afterwards. Everybody is addressing the committee, not each other. I ask everybody to speak respectfully, that there's no back and forth. Again, use the microphone. And once the public is done, then the applicant can come back up and respond to anything they heard. We'll do that after the public has spoken, all the members of the public on each application, and let them come back, the applicant come back up. I think that is it. There are printouts of the agenda up here. And there's one last minute layover, which is Talent LLC at 183 Grand. They have laid over again until next month. So if you're here on that application, we will not be hearing them tonight. Okay, so the first application we're going to hear, and Nancy Wong on the committee has just joined us. So the first application we're going to hear is Raouls Restaurant Corp, doing business as Raouls at 178 180 Prince, on premise for a restaurant. It's an alteration, expanded.
Thank you for that. Let's staff.
Oh, there you go. Try to make it happen.
Okay, you guys are here. Good evening, CB2. Nice to see everyone again. Max Bookman is at Bookman PC. For
Max, make sure the microphone's on. Is it on?
Yes. Not in this one.
Hello. There we go. Okay. All right, for the recording.
Yeah. And make sure we want some context. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't have enough here.
No, I don't need one.
Okay.
Just as long as you sent everything in the packet, right? Yep.
That matches what was sent in. Okay.
So for the recording again,
Max Bookman, Pazetsky and Bookman PC. For the applicant, Raouls Restaurant Corp. With me is Kareem Raoul. This is in some ways a re-notification, but it's a re-notification that's sort of long overdue. This is an alteration application for Raouls, which needs no introduction, to expand their restaurant from their existing storefront, which they've been there for quite a long time, at 180 Prince, to include the directly next door space at 178 Prince. We appeared before you first. I did back in 2017. You approved us with STIPs. We then never filed with the SLA because the project hit a snag and didn't go forward. So we were back before you in the beginning of 2020, where you approved us again with the same STIPs. Then COVID happened and the project didn't go forward. And now it's 2024 and we're before you again. And we really mean it this time. We're going to go forward with this and file with the SLA and do the work. Right, I said it's not going to be a fourth time coming back here on this. It's the same STIPs. I have copies of the 2020 STIPs if you want to see them, but we're not looking to change anything from what was previously approved in 2017 and then again in 2020.
Okay, so do you want to just do a quick, for those of us that haven't read it or anybody here from the public who doesn't know, just a quick, the hours?
Sure. Premises will be operated as a full-service restaurant, closing hours 2 a.m., 7 days a week. No television, sports bar, none of that. No outdoor area for commercial purposes. No sidewalk cafe now or in the future. One patron entrance. This was a big deal, and we, the last few times, and we continue to abide by it. One patron entrance at the existing entrance located at 180 Prince. So, in other words, the new expanded storefront will not be used for patrons. Background music only. All your usual STIPs. And
Okay, and there's no operable doors, windows?
Yes, that's right. No operable doors, no operable windows, no open facades, no changes to the existing facade, comply with DOB.
Certificate of occupancy is.
We have, yeah, there's a DOB process that is underway.
That you need to be doing that.
Yes.
Okay, I think, hopefully it's the last time we see you on this one, but go ahead. Sorry.
The floor plans changed a couple times. Everything's pretty much the same.
Yeah,
So
so
like there was some stuff with stairwell, without looking at it, there was some stairwell thing in the beginning, the first time, changed the second time, it was a little smoothed out.
yeah,
So
so
now it's.
you have the actual document that you have is a nicer version than what you had in 2020, but the proposal is the connection is through the back, which then, we closed off, so there's no connection between the residential corridor, which was what was the concern, and the restaurant. That'll be those are completely separate under our plan.
Anybody else from the committee? Okay, and I think we have some people from the public here on this application. No? Is there anybody? Anybody from the public here to speak on this? Frank Rothstein? No? No? You're all good?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, the next application is Jose Andres LLC, doing business as Jose Luis Little Italy, 115 Mulberry. This is a class change for an on-premise restaurant.
Hi, how are you? I don't.
Can you state your name and?
I came from Jose Luis, Jose Andres LLC. My name is Diego Correa. I'm one of the owners. How are you?
So go explain your application.
Okay, I'm applying for public license right now. I have the wine and beer liquor license. We've been open already for 2 years. And our base is small, it's just 4 seats, but we are applying for the full liquor license because for the business, it's very important right now. We discovered that it's very important in Wall Street of Mulberry that we have the full liquor because it's so many restaurants in Little Italy, and we've been only 1 or 2 restaurants with wine and beer, and we've been just. We open just from 11 a.m. until 10 p.m. and we just looking to improve ourselves, just making some cocktails and making more drinks available for our customers.
So your hours that you got originally, which we would keep that.
We keep the
It's
same.
11, it was 11 to 12, so you're closing earlier now, but that's what we're allowed.
Yes, we opened just after the pandemic because we used to work in Little Italy. I used to work in Little Italy for 10 years before, and everything changed. But right now we closing most of the restaurants in Little Italy. We're closing around 11 p.m.
Okay, and there's no TVs,
No,
there's no operable doors and windows.
no.
You have a couple of seats outside, 8 seats?
Yeah, we have like a front desk. That we have like 4 tables with 2 chairs each one, so it's like 8 people.
Okay, and then, and those close at 10 p.m.
Yes.
And you don't have any heaters out there
No.
or anything. The music is background only,
Yes.
and there's no patrons in the basement. You close all the doors at 10 p.m. every night.
Exactly.
I think that covers it. And outside closes at 10 p.m. Does anybody from the committee have any questions? Is there anybody here from the public on this application? No. Okay.
Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much.
The next application will be, let's see, Bondi 75 Kenmare Street LLC, doing business as Bondi Sushi, 75 Kenmare.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Anybody who just came in, there's a sign-in sheet to sign in, and then if you want to speak on an application, there's a speaker card there to fill out and hand that to me, and then, and there's agendas here, just write down the agenda and hand in the speaker cards up to us. Okay, go ahead. I think.
We're good to go?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
okay, so pretty much
Just make sure you speak close to the microphone. You can tilt it up, or you can also unscrew the middle there if you need to raise it.
Everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So we're here on a representation of Bondi Sushi Bar. We're trying to get our liquor license, upgraded and get a, a full liquor license, to provide a better experience for our guests and, make sure, we have a lot more options for our customers when it comes down to, serving, cup cocktails.
And your name is?
My name is Juan Zuniga.
Okay. And are you one of the principals or?
Well, I'm the manager, I'm the store manager.
You're the manager, so none of the principals are here.
Yes, actually, yes, Mr. Darren Whitman is here.
Hey, Darren Whiteman, VP of Operations and one of the operating partners.
I'm sorry, what is your name again?
Darren Whiteman, I'm one of the principals, operating partners.
Okay, so I don't see your name on the. So, okay. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I'm just trying to. Continue.
So pretty much, we're trying to get our liquor license, like I say, full liquor license to provide a better experience for our customers and, have them, experience, our sushi bar in a more convenient way, I will say. We are not trying to, have a full bar completely, it's just to provide a better experience.
So you've been open for.
We've been open for about
3.5 years
Okay.
on beer and wine and sake.
And your hours
11 a.m. until 11 p.m.
every day?
Every day, 7 days a week, yeah.
And it's just 22 seats?
22 seats inside and we have 4 two-tops outside.
So, and do you currently have the tables outside? Or?
Not at the moment, only in good weather, spring, summer.
So if I mean, you'll have to apply, any outdoor seating will close at 10 p.m.?
Correct.
Okay, let's see if I have any questions. You close all doors at 9 p.m. I think that background music only.
Only, correct, yeah. No live music, no television, none of that nonsense, no.
Okay. I think that's it for my questions. Cormac?
Yeah, I just want to ask, how's it going with the issue of the bicycle delivery services? I know that was a big issue when we were approving last time. People were afraid of it blocking the sidewalk or cluttering, or are you having any problem with
Not
that?
any issues whatsoever, no.
Thank you very much.
Not at all.
Anybody else from the committee have anything? Yeah.
Hi, I understand private parties. Can you talk about what kinds of private parties and how many?
Randomly, a private party might be if a guest or a party wants to book out the restaurant for a dinner, which is no more than once or twice a year.
Thank you.
Primarily dining only.
Okay. Anybody else from the committee? Is there anybody from the public here on this application? No. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pleasure, thank you.
I know. Okay, the next application is going to be Noho Neighbors LLC at 54 Great Jones Street. This is an on-premise for a restaurant that we heard last month, and they are returning again this month. Hi, good, how are you? I don't need one.
Good evening. We were here last month. If you remember. I'll be happy to answer questions you may have.
Okay, and you were going to go back and meet with the neighbors. And so do you have anything to say about everything that came out of
Yeah.
that?
We've met with the neighbors in person, exchanged several calls and emails with them, yes.
And I guess what I'd like to know is, has anything in the application changed since you met with the neighbors? Any updates to provide us before we hear from them? I've got a number of.
Yeah, we worked on quite a few things, so.
And just make sure you speak into the mic.
Yeah, we worked on quite a few things. We, in the last meeting, you guys mentioned the kitchen ventilation being an issue. So one of the main things we tried to address was that exact thing. We attempted to see if we could change the ventilation in the space, and it turns out that that's not possible. For a variety of reasons, but we had a couple people look at it and they told us, one quote is, there's no amount of money that could solve this problem. So essentially the kitchen has to remain as is, as it has for the last 41 years.
Okay.
So we decided to kind of try to work with the community to see if we could tailor the menu in a specific way, if there was anything that would be palatable to make this restaurant feasible. And we've made a lot of suggestions, but we've not come to a concrete agreement on the process. And I think that we've got plenty of ideas, and we've suggested just about all. The best idea which we proposed. So one of the main issues is, as you guys know, we're expanding into the back space to make the restaurant a little bit bigger. The main concern around that focused on the fact that means more food is being cooked, which could lead to more kitchen ventilation, more exhaust. So we proposed two different menus, one with a bar menu in the back or in the front, or something, a raw menu in the front that's an uncooked food, and then a more substantial food menu to be served in the dining room, seating only in the back. We've got some copies of the menus we're proposing. We think that that this will help to alleviate the concerns of the community.
Yeah, especially Hi, sorry guys. I think that if we break down these menus, and then in addition to breaking down the menus into a front menu and a back menu, and the front menu being nothing being cooked, and the back menu, we also reduced a lot of the fried foods. If you review that menu, we updated, and it does now not include onion rings. It does not include steak frites. It does not. We really eliminated almost all of the stuff that would create smells. And it's important to note, although that the space is going to increase, I know it's funny to say double the size, it's really small and under 74 capacity, so those double the size, it's still very small space, that the number of seats that we're actually cooking for will remain the same. So although the space is getting bigger, I just think it's really important to notate again, the number of seats we're cooking for will remain the same.
I'm confused by that, because if you have more people in the space,
Exactly. So basically, we're only going to offer, and we also have we're only going to offer the back dining room as our formal dining room, where the cooked menus will be, cooked items will be available, and then the front areas, we're going to see more of a waiting room, get something like bites to eat while waiting for your more formal experience in the back.
We also, it's important that we note that this is not an attempt to operate a bar in the front. This is an attempt to minimize our footprint through that exhaust. By keeping everything up front, it's not a bar situation. It's still waiting for the dining experience, and you'll be eating at the same time.
Okay.
Everybody's gonna move twice. So you go in, you sit down, you're in one place, and then you get up and you move to the back.
There's an option to do just like a lighter uncooked menu in the front and have a full
Hold on, let's back up.
Yeah.
You guys said when people come in, they're gonna sit in the front and they're gonna order something, and then they're gonna get up and move to the back to eat dinner.
It's an option, yeah. So the
Tables down in the back, that goes right to the back.
yeah.
Or the waiting table.
The only one is the tables.
So the patron wouldn't come into the restaurant just to have a light snack and something to drink?
That's always an option, yes.
So they could just come in
Yeah,
for that,
a
for
light
the front.
uncooked snack,
Okay.
yeah. This is
I wanted
this
to
is,
hear
you know,
about that.
sorry. You want to be clear? This is just, you know, this is our attempt to sort of lighten the load on how much is being fried and grilled in the kitchen. In addition to some menu changes that we made as well.
You know that this was not original intent.
We're doing this to appease the community.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, the previous operator wasn't supposed to be frying any food there either, so that, I mean, that's just how that went for back.
And Frank, maybe you can help me out with this. I'm just searching my memory. Did I understand though last time that you were here last month?
I'm laughing because I can't imagine you're expecting me to help you.
Well, maybe somebody will remember. I mean, I think, did I have the impression though that part of the problem with venting is that it doesn't meet code? It's pre-existing. I see. So it wouldn't meet new code if it was rebuilt or something like that.
Yeah.
If we could.
I get it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It must stay sort of as is.
Right,
Yeah.
because there's no, last time he said it was just not physically possible, and this time you're saying no amount of money. I get it, okay.
Yeah. And we tried. We had several people come look at it, people we trust to work with, and they, you know, we searched for all possible, you know, options.
So instead, we reduce the menu cooking.
We're looking for that for.
Okay. And the hours was one of the other issues that was coming up, so are the hours still? What are the hours?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we would like those hours as we proposed. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what we went through last time, and that's one of the issues they brought up, so I'm here to hear how this was resolved, actually, this time, not to re-talk it, because that's what I'm just saying, that's what we did last time, so have you changed the hours, or are the hours still 2 AM?
We're willing to accept the current operating hours instead of the extension we were seeking.
Which is 12 and 1.
12 and 1, yeah.
So Sunday to Thursday, 12, and Friday and Saturday, 1.
Correct.
Carter, go ahead.
So the agreement, you actually are expanding the load on the kitchen. I'm just looking at the last agreement with the current operator, and it says here, the proposed method of operation of fresh seafood themed restaurant, it was what was proposed. And so that was by game, and that's so
Obviously, running on current.
no, but that was his agreement. So you actually are expanding on what the agreement is by including the other heavier cooking. Is that by including the heavier cooking, you're actually are increasing what's supposed to be?
He had. Yeah, his menu.
The agreement for seafood themed restaurant.
Yeah.
That
He was frying and had grilled.
But I'm just gonna say, like we said last time, what he was doing and what he agreed to in order to get the community to go along with it are two different things. So what the community went along with,
Yeah.
not what, I'm not speaking to what he was doing, I
Yeah.
have no idea what he was doing.
Yeah.
But what the community, the agreement with the community was that the menu and concept is focused on raw items and not fried food. And that it was seafood, so.
After speaking with him, I don't think he had that same takeaway from the meeting. He had, you know, fried food and fries on the menu from the beginning.
That's not what the stipulation said. So he may have thought that, but he signed something that did not say that. So
Yeah.
The original concept didn't work.
Correct.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. So he deviated from what the agreement was. I understand, but
You're right. Okay.
I mean, that's, but I think that the point was that you're now actually introducing the problem back with the heavier cooking that's in the
Not
back.
it's actually less cooking than he's currently doing. So whatever the neighborhood's been used
No, but
to.
he's not supposed to be doing it.
Whether he's supposed to be doing it or not, the current impact doesn't change. So the reality of what the current impact is, which is what everyone's been living with for a couple of years now, is actually reduced from current impact. Not what we agreed on 5 years ago. The current impact, what you guys
Right,
have been living
and
with.
nobody
day to day.
pursued that because of COVID out of the generosity of the neighbors. So now you want to just build on what wasn't supposed to happen.
Reducing what currently is there.
But that's not supposed to be there is the point.
Yeah, I just, I mean, I'm following all this. I just want to clarify. Somebody who isn't deep in the history of all this or anything like this. What I heard last month, though, was that current impact is a problem. Right? I mean, you know, yeah. So, yes,
So we
we're dealing from current impact, but, you know, current impact status quo would not be acceptable.
we've discussed the current impact quite a bit with the community and members of the community. The opinion varies greatly. Sorry. Okay. The opinion varies greatly. The people who we reached out to, community members, we have letters from them. The people who we approached, community residents, people who live directly across the street at 54, the tenant directly above us, across the street at 45, directly above at 54. No impact whatsoever. They said it's something that's never bothered them. They've never even kind of thought about it, never occurred to them. They don't smell it, nothing. So, yeah. So, I mean, direct quotes from residents, that we have, including Scott Kerber, Don Caposcia, who live across the street, Sophie Buckler lives upstairs. No impact. It's something that we're aware of, and that we tailored a menu to make sure that it wouldn't be a big impact. That was our whole goal. For any residents who are claiming impact, we've tried to make it a menu that is as low impact as possible.
Okay, does anybody else on the committee have anything right now before I go to the public? Okay, let me, yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Up at the microphone or somebody. Up at the
We
microphone.
don't have new menu.
Yeah, for some reason, this is not in your packet because there was an agreement, just so you understand, the negotiations and our willingness to work with the current block association, I guess if you want to call them, continued on until this afternoon, which is why this is an additional menu, because we kept being as flexible as possible to meet all of their needs. Which is why you have this menu late.
Okay, thank you.
Unfortunately, the chickens.
The chicken's still there. Burger's there. Okay, so, from the public, why don't you guys, and then just everybody, just come on up and I'll just say your name. So I have Rachel Morrow, Ellen Fang, Stephen Shucken. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing names correctly. Elaine Hilreys, Jeannie Rocker. Yeah, come on up. Everybody just start coming on up and lining up. If anybody, does anybody want to speak on this? Okay. Rachel Morrow. Perfect, thank you. And that was distributed to the committee as well.
It was.
Yep.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I think our, we have a couple of issues.
Rachel, just start with your name. I said.
Rachel Morrow.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I think that it's the whole issue for us, really, as you stated earlier, we've got an agreement with Jolene that has not been working for the last couple of years. The venting has not been resolved. And one of the things that we've been trying to discuss with the applicants is, it seems to us that, I mean, they're telling us that the venting can't be resolved, but we still don't understand why that's the case. If we do know, for example, that the current New York City Mechanical Code tells us that this venting is not up to code. So we're still not willing to accept that there's not that this is okay, that it is legal, and that there's not something that can be done about this venting. We just don't want to have to, the same way we didn't want to have to police the menu with Jolene, we don't want to have to police the menu with this current operation. So we appreciate that they're trying to do whatever they can to alleviate the sort of venting issue. But what happens, for example, when somebody decides they want to order a hamburger in the bar? Are they going to tell them, I mean, they may tell them no, but we don't want to have to go, sort of constantly be sort of walking into the restaurant and, acting like, the Stasi over the menu. And again, even though they're having a raw menu in the front, doesn't mean that whatever they're cooking in the back isn't going to have an impact, on the sort of odors that are wafting down our side of the street. I don't think that the odors are a problem for the people across the street, but they certainly are for the people on the north side of Great John Street. So I'm going to just leave it at that and have some other people address some of the other issues, but that's
Great.
what I have to say on the venting.
Okay, great, thank you. Ellen Fanning? Stephen Shukin? Ellen? And other people, you can come and just line up here so we just to save time. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Ellen Fanning. Okay. I live at 48 Great Jones Street, which is directly adjacent to the Jolene current restaurant and Noho Neighbors Hopeful Restaurant. Basically, I'll just agree with what Rachel just said. Our biggest issues being right there next to Jolene as it operates now. Venting for sure, smells. We also have a large problem with loitering, people smoking outside of our garage door, people coming into our vestibule area, smoking, urinating, loud drunkenness. It's extremely loud on the weekends. It's been very poorly kept up, so there's a lot of garbage. We have a lot of rat issues these days that we didn't have before. So really, we're very concerned because these guys are nice guys and they are experienced people, but they're trying to bring in a double capacity basically. Right now, there's 24 tables inside Jolene with, I think it's 8 bar seats, and they want to go up to 46 tables. Using the back room. They say they're going to drop the ceiling and put in insulation for sound. But, myself and many others at 48 look over the east side there. We look right over where the restaurant will be. And it's already so loud. We're concerned that it will, of course, with double capacity, be much louder. I know Eric and Darren have said they're going to drop the ceiling and do all these things, and I believe them on that. But the actual additional seats with the kitchen the way it is and the venting and then the loitering is going to be kind of untenable for us. And I'm not sure how to get around that really. And we haven't even broached outdoor seating yet. They say they don't want it yet, but if it's something they can act later on, we're maybe tripling the amount of people that we have there on a Saturday night, Sunday night, and Monday through Friday. The hours, absolutely, as they have nicely acquiesced, should stay the same. But beyond that, there's really an issue with, doesn't really matter what the hours are if there's triple the people out there. And that's not their fault. It's just, I don't think the space is designed for that many people. So,
thank you. Stephen Shucken, is there?
Hi, Stephen Shucker. I just wanted to reiterate the last two speakers that it just seems that adding 40 some odd more seats to the neighborhood is just not the right thing to do. Jolene, the smells coming out of Jolene is pretty bad. I'm at 48 Great Jones, and it's the amount of people coming out of the building, out of the restaurant, urinating in front of our building, drinking in front of our building, hanging out, talking, smoking. We're talking about doubling the capacity for that. And it seems to me that the back they're looking to turn the back into a restaurant, which means to me, feels like the front's gonna be a bar. And no food, maybe some, they're talking about raw food. And it sounds like that front space, the outdoor space is they're gonna want to have a bar, and the back's gonna be a restaurant, and which sounds great, but it doesn't sound great on Great Jones. There's spots for this on the Bowery, Third Avenue, where there's a million more bars and restaurants, but a quiet street like Great Jones, and it just doesn't seem like the right thing for our neighborhood.
And you're at 48.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next, Vance Trimble.
Hi. So Vance Trimble, 40 Great Jones. I'm the president of the board there, represents the building. We have, for years, had issues with we're on the second floor there, and not being able to open our windows in the summer because of the prevailing wind on Great Jones seems to be in a westerly direction, and that vent has been the bane of our existence for years. We're hoping that sometime when one of these licensees comes up, we can resolve this. We've tried before, hasn't worked. We're hoping that we can do something on that. So that's a primary issue. Also, Great Jones Street has a firehouse, which everyone knows, which causes a lot of traffic on the street. And where we sit directly next to the firehouse, they have a fire lane, and it's constantly being blocked with food delivery trucks for the various restaurants on the street, and just the increasing that further is just going to cause further problems for the fire department. And lastly, we are concerned that the new plans call for the restaurant to occupy 3 different addresses and 3 different tax lots, and how that egress can be worked out, and all the fire shutters and fire doors. It seems like a crazy amount of work to do to add details in the back of the restaurant. I'm just concerned about the viability of this idea is something that's going to be sustainable, and be able to support a restaurant. It may work for a bar, but I don't think it'll work for a restaurant. So that's it.
Yes.
Thank you. Next, Sophie McCallum. Is that, I think I butchered it. Go ahead, state your name.
It's Sophie Backbar, but you can say it however you want. Sorry, I've never done anything like this. Exactly what I'm supposed to say.
Just speak into the microphone.
Okay.
And feel like saying.
Yeah, so I live right above Jolene at 54 Great Jones, literally right above. I share the floor with their ceiling. And I'm a little surprised to hear about all the smell complaints, because I leave my windows open in the winter and summer, and it's not something that really bothered me. And yeah, one of the things I love most about living in NoHo and on Great Jones is what a great community it is, and how close I am with my neighbors, and how frequently we all get together and, grab a drink at a neighborhood spot. And I'm so excited at the prospect of having one of my neighbors, somebody that I know and who has lived on Great Jones, open a restaurant there, a place where we can congregate, and a place that I think is going to be respectful of the community. My fear for the space is that it would be something that is, not community oriented, and not a space that felt like it was, representative of the block. So yeah, I'm very excited about it. And again, I am very surprised to hear about the smell complaints, just because I don't know who would smell it more than I do, given I live literally right above it. And I've lived there since before Jolene was in. I've lived there since before COVID. And just want to say I'm very excited about the prospect of having them move in, and I think it could be a really great addition to the neighborhood.
Thank you. Next, Aline Hill-Reese. Oh. Does it work this way? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Aline Hill-Reese, and I've lived in 48 Great Jones since 1974, and I've seen a lot. And I think everyone has to realize that this is a community, this is a street that is full of families with small children. It is not, the Bowery is different, and it's really hopping at night, and I know that that's a whole scene, but there are lots of empty shops, empty spaces on the Bowery where they could start a new restaurant. We already have 2 large restaurants on Great Jones, and those restaurants worked very assiduously to address our issues with the community's issues with venting and hours and everything else. And they, Vic's, which is a neighborhood restaurant, closes at 11 o'clock. They're very considerate, and they're great contributors to the street. This particular proposal, to me, seems like it's patched together, which it literally is, from a few small spaces. I can't believe it would pass building codes or fire codes. And it's not clear if there's a whole dining room that's going to be in the back that has one narrow little egress to the street. I don't know if something happened. I don't know how they would get out. And there has been a fire in those small buildings by that corner a few years ago. So there are many, many concerns that I had as a resident for a long time, including the loitering. That's gotten worse. And honestly, that corner of our neighborhood, and actually I've been in the neighborhood since 72, so I've seen a lot. It's feeling like the 70s again a little. We have people sleeping in our front hall. So everyone said everything else, but I am very concerned, and I don't think that we need this, and it doesn't seem to be well thought out or planned.
Thank you. Next, Janine Gaffinger. And after that is James Maxfield, if you just want to come up.
Hi, I'm Jeannie Gaffigan, and I live at 48 Great Jones and the second floor. And while I heard people talking about the way that the wind blows, and how it could not, like the smells from the restaurant could not impact right above the restaurant. It does impact the next door. I think it's just the way that the ventilation is. I'm on the second floor, and right, like, right there. So we have a store, and then we have all residential, a clothing store. And there's 12 children that live in the building. There's babies, there's toddlers, and there's, I think, 4 teenage girls, young girls that live in the building. And there is already a lot of loitering. We've had, girls followed into someone got in our vestibule the other day. And we also have had some packages stolen recently. So there's been a lot more sort of opportunistic crimes in the neighborhood that have, concerned the neighbors. We have a very tight community in our building with a lot of families. And I also feel that I don't have really the updated information, because what I've looked at and this new menu, I haven't seen the new menu, but the menu that was circulated to us had burgers and fries and onion rings on it. And I just heard that that was revised. But so that's part of the issue with like our entire apartment smelling like fried grease all the time from Jolene was definitely an issue. And then more concerning is the loitering. I don't know what time, it's not very clear what time the bar is going to close. What
They
time?
said 1 now. They
1?
brought it down to 1 on Thursday, Friday.
1 a.m. And so where do people go afterwards? Normally they go out on the street and smoke and talk about what they're going to do next. And, as like, almost every block is like filled with like hot smoke now. It's like you can smell it everywhere. And when people are right under your apartment, it comes into your apartment and, just not a good look for like the teenagers that you're trying to keep away from that. And then finally, the other information is that, it says if you have plans for, they have no plans for security, but they do have plans for crowd control. And it says if you do have plans for crowd control on the sidewalk, caused by your establishment, yes, you have plans, please attach the plans. And I don't see anything attached. I'd be really interested in that because if, as Eileen said, we have a lot of people from our building here. We all know each other. There are really courteous businesses on our block that do keep things under control. But I don't see what the plan is. I would just love to see it. I'd love to see the new menu. I'd be interested in getting some more information, but as it stands right now, from the information I had, it's very concerning to me. Thank you.
James Maxfield. And then next is Janine Kiley. And then next is Tara Mead.
Yeah, I don't have anything material to add to what's been discussed already. I think, the concept of doubling capacity with an unknown capacity extension into the outside leads to obvious questions around how they're going to facilitate, with the kitchen and the ventilation issues, how they're actually going to facilitate providing food and servicing all that capacity. And I find it difficult to believe that the front end wouldn't actually become a bar. Ultimately, which I think leads to all the issues you've already heard and concerns around the loitering and what have you. So, I think that's what the community is most concerned about is how to actually see the plan that's been put together and not create further issues that are already there and would be exacerbated by the current proposal. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Janine Kiley.
Good evening, fellow board members. I'm a relatively new resident at 48 Great Jones, and I would just encourage everyone to listen to the concerns of my neighbors. Sounds like venting can't be solved, but I'm just still not convinced on that. Definitely need a plan for outside in the event that the front room becomes some kind of bar to eliminate. And then, I know that they stipulate that there'll be no outdoor dining, and hopefully that'll clean up some of the rat situation that we have outside right now. But I think it's really important that whatever transpires inside doesn't spill out onto the sidewalk in terms of safety and comfort when people come and go at night. That's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Tara Mead.
Tara Mead. I originally signed the petition. There was a friend of theirs going around the neighborhood asking if I would sign, there was going to be a restaurant replacing Jolene. And in the moment I thought, okay, I would, like a restaurant if it was kind of along the same lines. I didn't realize it was going to be open later, but now I see they're pulling back the hours. But my concern is if it's double the size, that it's going to still be more people on the block and issues that come along with that. Like Jeannie said, that we live in a family building. There are kids on every single floor. I have a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old, and their bedroom is right there. And we love Jolene while it's there, but they're not that busy. And this place is going to be double the size, so they're going to be even busier. So there was there were occasions where my kids couldn't sleep because there was so much noise. I just turned up the sound machine. But I feel like this is going to be a larger issue. So basically, that's all I have to say.
Great. Thank you. Andre?
Hi, Andre Mead. So I've lived next door to this building for 15 years. I've been going to restaurants in the space since the 90s. I'm a big fan of a restaurant in that space. I want one to succeed, I think, as we all do. But I think, let's face it, it's a tiny building with a tiny kitchen, and it already has ventilation issues.
And, I understand it's a difficult space to make the economics work. To me, the obvious solution is to go up market and somehow get more revenue per seat. The poor solution in my mind is to go down market, try to jam in more seats, more people, extend the hours. The kitchen wasn't made for this. The ventilation system clearly wasn't made for this, and it doesn't fit in with our quiet block. As Jeannie mentioned, there's a dozen kids next door, and I don't think they need to be kept up till all hours with lots of people loitering outside and all the problems that come with living next to a bar. And just listening to the proponents today, it's pretty clear this is a bar masquerading as a restaurant. And I'd say not too far away on Bowery is a bar called Phoebe's that has a small menu, but it's drinks first. And on a given Friday, Saturday, there could be 50 to 100 people lined up to get into there. That would be right in front of our building. This is a tiny block, and I think it's very disruptive. So we want something to work there. We're not opposed, obviously, to have a restaurant. We'd love to have a restaurant in the neighborhood. I just don't think this is a solution to this space.
Thank you. Okay, that's all the sign-in sheets I have. Is there anybody else here to speak on this application before I go back to the applicant? No, okay. Frank and applicants, you want to?
Yeah. So
Okay, just make sure you use the microphone.
Yeah. The first thing we'll comment on, I think, is going to be, we agree about the roadside beds and people sleeping in them and the way that they look and appear after they've been used for a while. That was definitely a COVID thing. We are staunchly against them. We have some of our other places. The first thing that we're going to do is get rid of that. That's really important.
The look of that block. Yeah, the look of that block is really important to us, and we understand that definitely detracts from both the charm of what Great Jones is, but also creates an environment for people to just like hang out and smoke pot and be homeless, and it's not what we're interested in. So that will be removed immediately.
So that's interesting. Go ahead.
Yeah. It does look like the 70s now, New York. And that's not because of anything that we're going to do on that block. I actually think it looks like the 70s in New York because there are less places open and more storefronts closed and just more poverty in general. So this is a sentiment that I agree with, but I actually believe that, especially with neighbors and operators like us that care, that we contribute to the safety of these neighborhoods, especially when things are bad. We know this well. I know this really well because my first restaurant was on Avenue B, which was a really bad neighborhood at the time in 2003. And when these businesses open, they actually become neighbors and homes and families to the surrounding neighbors. And we are that kind of operator. So I think if anything, it provides a safer environment than what I also agree with is going on. This current environment the city's not great. So also we talked about the shed. I think it's kind of funny. We're talking about getting a liquor license up here, right? And I know what kind of operator I am by how many years, decades I've been in this business, and the positive impact I know I have on all my neighbors around me. There's very few places where I have enemies. We're all family in that neighborhood. And I'm an incredibly responsible, we're incredibly responsible operators, right? And we're here again for a liquor license. We're stuck here talking about French fries and fried food and all of these other things that I think are important to discuss. And we're willing to work with the neighborhood to do that. But what if one day there's no liquor license there and fried fish store opens there, and all of a sudden you guys have no say on what that menu is? There's fried fish all day. We're here, we're operators, we're responsible operators, we're wanting to work with the neighborhood. We've been in a lot of discussions with Rachel and this entire community, more than I've actually had with most. And we want to be responsible operators if you'll allow it.
I mean, like I'm a CB2 resident, we're local business operators. We're the kind of guys who we're very present. We're small business owners. We're not like, corporate people or anything like that. We're the type of people who are present, who are accessible. who can solve any problem. I think
I think, well, then that's where I'll step in with that, because I think some of the issues, this is not about you, this is about the space and what works in that space. And I'm hearing from a lot of the people that spoke is that this may not work in that space because you're expanding it. People, so it's double people, it will be more food. The venting, from what you've said, can't even be brought up to code, let alone above code, like I know some of the other places have put in these expensive venting systems. You don't have the ability to do that. So I'm just putting that out there, that you can do the best that you can do, but maybe this isn't the right space for this type of
I know that 6 people don't think it's the right space, but fortunately, 6 people don't represent an entire community. I think.
I'll just say that these 6 people represented a lot more than 6 people because it represents. I mean, let's try to respect the people that are here and representing as well.
I do, but you're making it seem like nobody wants it. It's not their.
Actually, that's not what I said at all. I didn't say nobody wants it. I said it sounds like the venting is an issue that. You can say you have, from what we've heard, millions of dollars and you can't do it in that building. So this is not that nobody wants you. Nobody necessarily wants the issues that come with having a larger restaurant, cooking more food there, or cooking the food that the previous operator wasn't supposed to be cooking in the first place there. That's the one issue. The other issue is more people coming out into the street. Let me just finish my other thing that was not addressed was what plans you have for the crowds outside and how, with this expanded space in the year, look at the back, how egress, certificate of occupancy, et cetera, for getting the more people out of there. Now, you can go ahead.
2 things. Occupancy, doubling an occupancy of a size that's small when it's still an under 79 space, there's only 50 seats. It's 74. It's under 50. It's under 50 seats. It's under 50 seats is not the kind of impact that you see when expanding.
54 seats plus server.
Yeah, it's not the kind of impact that you see when expanding, let's say, a 100-seat restaurant and you're doubling the space now. There's 200 people on the street. We're talking about an additional 20 people. So it's not this dramatic, like double the size. It's just note that double the size is still not an enormous amount of people. In regards to the egress and the legality, we've had RIP Consulting. It's completely legal. We wouldn't accept the space or move into the space or operate the space without a certificate of occupancy, or at least a TCO. This has been looked over and approved and can be done legally, both by building department and by fire department, just to be clear.
And on the fire note, in order to do those extra 24 seats, we're adding a second egress. So now there are 2 egresses in the space, one that comes out the side, one that goes through the main entrance. So there should be, it'll be, a very fire safe place and a rare place that has 2 egresses for an under 74. Yeah.
Okay, anybody else from the, Brian, go ahead. No, go ahead.
6 residents who don't want the space.
Again, not 6. I just want to be very clear on this. 6 people. No. We're not doing it back and forth. 6 people came, many of whom were representing their building. So it's not 6 people. It's 36 to 40.
It's not because they came representing the people in their building. It's not meaning that every person in that building was opposed to. So you can't come in and say, I represent all these people. And what I'm also trying to add is that you have
we have 3 or 4 letters from people that are in some of these buildings that are not opposed to it. I acknowledge that.
5, and one person who came said she was on the apartment above and has no problem with it.
No, and I'm just going to say, a lot of the venting issue isn't going to go to the person that's right above. It's going to go up and out and down. I'm just,
so this prevailing wind comment keeps coming up. The prevailing wind in that specific area is actually the other direction. So the prevailing wind on Great Jones Street is from the southwest and from the northwest. And then what? Oh no, there's a reason I know that. I'm a pretty avid surfer.
I'm sorry, but I think.
So here's the other thing. I've got a friend named Kevin who's a meteorologist, and he's done a lot of stuff.
He's not a meteorologist, okay? They live in the experience.
What you're addressing. and
Yeah,
using
go
a
ahead.
different.
No, yeah,
perspective
and
of-
just to mention prevailing wind comment, let's just like, you know. it's
Well,
not-
what they're saying, whether it's a prevailing wind or not, they're smelling.
And I understand that. I understand that there's, you know, some people have an issue with the smell. That's something that we worked on the menu to try to reduce. We're trying to appease that problem.
It's not a sushi restaurant, there's still fries and burgers. Okay, so.
Last thing, don't forget there are numerous petitions in support submitted as part of the packet.
No, you can't, no, we're done with the,
I signed the petition because I wasn't given all of the information.
yeah, no. Yeah, no, we got that. You were clear on that. You were, no, you were clear on that when you came up. You were very, we got that. Thank you. Okay. Does anybody else from the committee want to say anything? No? No. Okay. Okay. I guess that's it. Okay. Thanks for coming back and for taking the time to talk with everybody. Appreciate it. Okay. I just want, all right, give me 1 second. Next application I'm going to call is Adrian Falcone, doing business as RV Hospitality, 56 Spring.
And I appreciate the accommodation. Thank you. I'm home.
Dark, Harry, well, introduce yourselves, but also if you could just clarify for me, the 30-day notice was Adrian Falcone, doing business as Arvine Hospitality, and the application is Arvine Hospitality, doing business as TBD, so which.
Yep. Hi, Harry Callahan, I'm the attorney for the.
Hang on, anybody who's here, if you want to stay for the business session when we discuss the applications, you're perfectly welcome to. You cannot speak during that time, but you're welcome to stay and you're welcome to leave.
Hi, guys. I appreciate the accommodation, by the way. Harry Callahan, attorney for the applicant. So just to clarify, the 30-day notice was Adrian Falcone. The DBA was listed as Arvine Hospitality. That's actually the applicant, Arvine Hospitality LLC, and and Adrian Falcone is the principal. This is Adrian, this is Drew. They're the two principals, and the DBA is to be determined. So just a quick background, it's all in the packet here. Adrian and Drew own Essential by Christoph on the upper.
Now, let me ask you one other thing. Did you bring any printouts of the packet?
I did not. It's all electronic.
Okay.
Use my computer if you want.
Does everybody have something down there? Okay, for future, just bring like 3 copies. Yeah.
Okay, got it. The principals, Adrian and Drew, they own Essential by Christoph. They just won a Michelin star and they're on the west side. It's a French restaurant. They're doing something similar here at 56 Springs, previously licensed location. This is Spring, just east of Center Street. They are closing during the week, 11 p.m., weekend, Friday, Saturday, midnight. The occupancy, they have 1 bar, seatings in there, menus in there. There's a informational packet, and all the information is in there. And I'm gonna let Adrian here describe the concept and what they want to do here.
Good evening, I'm Adrian Falcone. Thank you for having us here. So this would be my my very first restaurant outside of the Upper West Side, which we run for about a year and a half now. We successfully got a Michelin star last year, although, you know, we targeted 2, but things happen and hopefully we'll get that next year. We had a great team in place and we are looking to do something at 56 Spring, a bit more, I would say a bit more casual, a bit more relaxed, that would definitely fit in the Soho vibe, so, you know, Nolita actually, area. A menu that would be a little more, I would say, simple, based on the, very focused on the quality of ingredients, smaller portion, tapas style, pretty, I would say, fast service. We also would be focusing on an amazing wine program, hence the name of wine, which is a, you know, the name of a grape in Switzerland, by the way, and I'm from the Alps myself in France. I happen to be pretty familiar with the Soho neighborhood. I was myself a part of the Balthazar group for a long time, both as a general manager and in the operations. And I also was at a place called Il Buco Alimentari for just about as a general manager for just about a little under a year. So we would be needing or requesting a full liquor license in order to have, you know, a great program both on cocktail and on wine. I believe that the program will be extremely inventive, creative, and so will be the menu. So we believe that at 56 Spring, that can be an amazing neighborhood spot. Thank you.
Okay.
Adrian is also the GM of Midnight Tavern.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the hours, method of operation, sort of walk us through the space, because I'm a little confused, so.
So it's a two-story space. If you see it right now, it says fromage. It's right there. It's right by the subway station there. Obviously, there's some loitering there. There hasn't been an occupant in that space for a while, so they'll obviously activate it and get rid of that loitering. It's a two-level space. There's diagrams in there. Just so you know, the diagrams aren't. They show the tables, they show the chairs, they show the location of the bar. The kitchen is when you go down, there's stairs, and then you go down, and there's a back room there, and that's where the kitchen is. I'm sorry? And there's a small one upstairs too, a small prep kitchen. Let's see, it's 2,400 square feet. There's 2,000.
Is it 24 or is it 3,400? Because it says 2,000.
It's 3,400. It's 2,000 and then 1,400. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
And the hours,
the hours are
at 11.
11 p.m. Yep, and then midnight Friday, Saturday.
Okay, so on the floor plans that I have, let me just, I have, so the floor plans, so it shows tables and chairs on a first floor layout. So you enter, and then there's a bar, there's a table, there's a bar, you go through. The residential entrance is separate. Then you walk to the back, and I see like banquet tables in the middle, and then more banquets with 32 seats or something like that. Then there's a bathroom. Then then the kitchen is behind that. Am I correct here?
That's
okay, and then the stairs there go downstairs to the cellar.
Directly to the basement. The cellar.
And that's where the prep kitchen is. So the main kitchen is upstairs. And then there's more tables downstairs for 36 occupants. Correct? Okay. So then when I keep scrolling through the presentation, that's walk me through the next.
The other ones are just the architectural plans. They are not their floor plans. They're just these are just the former plans that we put in here that were included in them.
Okay, but are they what you're doing because they have removable?
No, that's what the fromage place did. This was the part of the marketing, just to show you the show you the elevation and show you the.
So there's the basement is not.
No.
It doesn't have.
No, doesn't have those big tables. It was the taco place, then it was the Japanese place, then it was the fromage and the fromagier, and now it's, So those big tables where they had, I think they were doing like cooking demonstrations or something, but that's all gone.
So none of that, these couple of pages that are in here.
None of that.
Page 31, 38, 29, it would be helpful, then I'm just gonna say to not have that in here, aside from the.
The grab and go and everything, none of that will be in there.
So really what we're doing is what I'm seeing.
In the first two pages.
Table setup and the downstairs going down.
Correct.
That's what you're doing. All those other diagrams don't have anything to do with that. Okay.
That's right. This picture, they had like roller wheels and stuff. I think they were doing like displays.
Right, yeah, that's why. Okay. So go ahead, format.
Except I think for after the floor plan, there's one page that is the facade elevation. I assume that's correct. Yeah. And then after that, that's all crap. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so then the next question that I have is the number of seats.
So just some blocking and tackling here. The number of seats shown. So we needed to get an architectural. Well, we need to get you guys a diagram with tables and chairs. It's not the exact number. The number of tables and chairs are actually in the application. This diagram was put together because we wanted to show you what it. Yeah. Yes. That's correct, because the occupancy is 74 now.
But I'm just going to say this is very confusing to me because it's a very detailed drawing of how many seats there are on each floor and everything. And basically what is in the packet is almost half the number of seats of what is in the diagram. So what I'm seeing on the diagram doesn't represent it at all. I mean, seats off is one thing, but you know, I came up with something like 115 seats, and you have down there 65. So it's a big difference. It's not just like a
Full disclosure, we were trying to get this to you on time. We were going back and forth with the designer, and they knew the number of tables here. This is the layout, but the numbers aren't correct. And we wanted to get you something that shows what it will look like. We're happy to amend the diagram so it exactly matches with the allocable seats. Correct. The application is correct. Yes. But we wanted to be as transparent as possible with the elevations and with what was there before, and just show you everything.
I'm just going to throw this out there to you. Is there any way you want to just lay this over and come back? Go through the details, but just come back next month when you have the real plans with the real numbers all in alignment? Because this just makes me very uncomfortable, just because I don't have, they're not matching. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and you're, so we should just go through them.
The public interest was never determined by the members of the authority, which is one problem. The other is there's supposed to be a place of assembly permit. There's not, that we can see based on this. And it's not that we're saying no, it's just that there's nothing matches anything. Like just it's very confusing, and it would be very difficult for us to return to this to look at it, because nothing before even matches. And the liquor authority also made mistakes in doing this. It's not a problem, but we have nothing that's accurate.
I'm not disagreeing with you. Could I just ask where that information was gathered?
So when we the original upgrade on this was opposed by the community board. It went to a 500-foot hearing. It was supposed to be sent to the members of the authority. It never was. It was approved inappropriately through a delegation by the director of licensing, who was not empowered to take licenses that are opposed to approve them. So the license was approved in error. And also the current operation that you even show has no relationship whatsoever to what was filed with the liquor authority on top of that.
Right.
And so there's nothing, truly nothing that matches this. And I know you represented the original client.
The original beer and wine client.
Right. They were way back. Yes. And that's who agreed to that they would get the paperwork, the place of assembly, et cetera. But that we don't see anything here. We're not necessarily against it, but there's nothing to even weigh in on.
Sure.
Given all those issues, we'd like to get it right and just have have it accurate. And this isn't necessarily your guys' fault. It's just there's a lot of open things here.
You know what, I think these issues can be remedied pretty quickly. We're coordinating, so I think they're okay with laying it over till next month.
Okay, great. Does anybody else have anything so that we
you do with everything we want you to deal with. Go ahead.
I don't have another issue. I just wanted to reassure you like that speaking for myself, I have no objection to what you're proposing to do. I need real clarity on all of these things, but your business method, your format, whatever seems fine. But we need clarity on these details so we know what we're agreeing to.
Sure. No, I think with respect to the C of O issue, this is going to be a non-PA space. This is 7,400 occupancy. So that PA issue will will be ameliorated. I believe that, and don't quote me on this, I believe in the foil, there's a letter of no objection. And that's how this was issued. Because they wouldn't have issued the full liquor license without the letter of no objection. So there is a letter of no objection on file, which I think that will solve the PA issue.
I mean,
Sure.
the issue is just, it's a huge space and the occupancy is not
The C of O
necessarily reflective of an under 74 occupancy, but we don't even have a diagram of what's going on. And the diagram that you gave us is totally way above those numbers. And so
just to speak to that, yes, the final C of O is for 72. So 74 and under counts for that, obviously for non-peak spaces. But with the respect to the diagram, in next month's meeting, we will submit the correct diagram that indicates that number of seats that matches both applications. And then it'll also match the C of O.
Just so for the cellar, it's the C of O says 24, and for the first floor, it's 72. So if that's what's permitted, right? But then you need the public assembly.
Well,
I mean,
just to clarify, the place of assembly is when you have 75 and over. Anything 74 and under, regardless of what your C of O says, you can have the occupancy. What the SLA used to require is a letter of no objection. Obviously, they've suspended those rules, but that's not dispositive to the extent that you're doing your analysis. The analysis on your part can be inclusive of FDNY and DOB and so on. So with respect to the C of O, so long as it's under 74, then they're good for up to 74, so long as they have a C of O. So we can lay over till next month and we'll coordinate with your office and make sure we have everything mirroring the application.
Okay, anything else, Carter, to say? No. Anthony, go ahead.
Just in regards to the petition, did you actually check with the upstairs building residents?
We haven't.
You didn't feel necessarily comfortable just, ringing at the bell and checking with anybody in the building now.
So I'm gonna suggest that you put something on the doors or maybe you can post in the lot, something.
Sure.
Have them reach out to you.
Happy to, yeah, of course.
Come back and say, it would be great if you could talk to them.
Yeah, will do. Absolutely.
Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you.
Right. Did you sign?
Michelle Campbell, very
You need to come up and
queue up and around.
Want everybody to. Since Center Street does not go. I don't know what street this is near. Is this near Cleveland Place? Cleveland Place. It's on the east. At Cleveland Place. Okay. This is not Noho. This is Little Italy. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
So you want to talk about clarity? It is Little Italy. It is not Soho. And it is Cleveland Place.
Amend accordingly. Okay, we'll see you. Next month. Just send it notice.
Thank you very much.
The next application is going to be IMG Global, doing business as Yakinico. Rate of 210 bound. Okay, yeah, there's
My name is Jing Fong Restaurant and I'm attorney for
Yeah, you have to speak right into the microphone or make sure it's on. Yes.
There you
Alright.
go.
And I have Sun Chi Song. He's the principal for the applicant. And he's seeking on-premise license for 210 Bowery. And the proposed business is going to be Japanese style yakiniku, which is barbecue, and he operates same style of business.
So you made it over from, is he, I.
He made it, so he changed
Good,
his
thank you.
schedule and he stayed.
Appreciate that. Thank
Yes.
you very much.
So he operates same style of business in Japan, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Thailand, and he's very successful. And he chose this building for purpose. And the previous applicant, one of them spoke that all the buildings, it's very difficult to install exhaust system. And this building was built in 2017, and it's vanilla box. And there's no ceiling, there's empty box. So it's much easier to install extensive exhaust system. And there's also an existing exhaust system going up to the roof. And this is one of the tallest buildings on that side. And this is pretty much perfect for the applicant's business. And the operation hour is 11 a.m. till 11:30. And just back
And just so you know, when we say closing hours, we mean all patrons out.
That's correct.
Okay.
And just background music, no outdoor, no windows.
No outdoor.
That's correct. And it's going to be 40 seats, and it will be a counter seats. There will be 3 parts counters, just straight line. And the reason for that is just easy to install exhaust system on the counter.
So all the cooking is done right at the counter.
Yes. And it's going to be kind of like omakase sushi, but barbecue version. The staff will cook in front of you. And it's going to be an upscale restaurant.
Is it reservation only or no?
Reservation only.
Reservation. And then, what's the parking situation? Do you have a plan for the, to control the drop-off vehicles, you know, the 4 high vehicles? Or
I think it will be just in and out. There will be no parking in front of the restaurant. And if there is, the owner or the manager will enforce strict no ordering outside.
Okay, and then I was looking at your website for your restaurant over there, and I see a large part of it is the training, the, you know, and the sourcing of all the food, local and that sort of thing. So, which I was really impressed with all of that. How are you going to do that here? Do you
So he's already contacting vendors all over the nation, and the source will be, you know, from different states. But his meat is he specializes in Wagyu and different parts of Wagyu that are not served in in New York. And that's going to be difficult, but it's not possible. It's not impossible.
Okay. Anybody from the committee have any questions? Okay, from the public, Michelle?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Thank you. We spoke, we had a Zoom, very nice conversation, and everything sounds lovely, especially the hours. The one problem that we have is that it has never been licensed before, basically because it's a new building, which is not in the best of shape. Being new, its facade is falling off. And so I was, my associates and I were thinking that if it could be a beer and wine with a stipulation of sake, if you need sake, if that does not come under the wine category, I don't know, it seems to kind of have blurry edges from all I could find out. But so that way, I've only lived there forever, because what I've seen in the last 10 years, nothing lasts more than 2 years. Oh, I don't know, maybe 3. So there's a large, you know, expensive money that is, if you have it, great. If you don't feel like having it for long. But the other thing is, so if another entity comes in and there is a full op license, this is really worrisome to us. And in terms of parking, no parking, there's no parking. There's traffic mess at all times of day. So that has to be taken into account, especially if it is a large, large occupancy place.
It's 40 people, it's only 40 people, so it's not like
Yeah.
it's not small, but it's not 100.
Yeah, and it is very high end place. So there will be mostly people visiting. Nobody living there. So it'll be fairly busy most of the time. And the main sticking point with us is the beer and wine versus the full up.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. So this specific building, he chose this because it was newer and it was, it was possible to install the extensive exhaust system. And if we move to older buildings nearby, that's not possible. We have to break down the whole building, and there's already exhaust pipe going up to the roof. I mean, if we cannot use that, he won't be able to conduct any business in New York. And as for beer and wine, my client wishes to serve liquor as well. And that's why the hour is going to be much, close early. It's not going to be an issue to the residents, neighbors. And also, the main focus is going to be sake and beer to begin with, but he would like to have an option to serve whiskey as well.
Okay.
To complement.
Okay. I think, does anybody on the committee have anything? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. The next application is going to be 219 Mulberry, doing business as Waived. You sent everything in, right?
Good evening, Ben Savitsky of Bernstein Rado and Savitsky. This is 219 Mulberry LLC. This is an alteration application. The impetus for this was the State Liquor Authority visited about a year ago. And of several things that they mentioned, they said that the cellar needed to be part of the license. So that's what we're doing here now. We are adding the cellar to the space. We're not adding any aging space. It's all back of house. It's for storage and for food prep. Additionally, we figured while we're doing this, we should make sure that the ground floor plan is up to date with the State Liquor Authority. So we're adding in the ground floor plan. We're going from what was 6 tables and 24 seats to 11 tables and 22 seats. But it's pretty much the same layout. Additionally, the space only has a service bar. On the original application, which was filed about 20 years ago, it was listed as a 5-foot service bar. It's actually a 15-foot service bar, so we're correcting that.
It's not changing.
It's not changing. Everything is staying the same on the ground floor, and we're just adding the cellar because the State Liquor Authority said we needed to, and it's just food prep and storage. This is Brianna, she's from the restaurant, and I know you guys have some questions about method of operation sometimes, so she can answer those.
Yeah. So, okay, and the hours are?
Everything is staying the exact same. The hours is all 5-11.
Okay, and I guess the one thing I think we missed to not ask about is the roadbed seating, is that being removed, soon?
We will comply with all the future standards that we still currently have it right now, but we will work rules that go into regulation with the standards that the city is implementing.
Okay, and so what I'm going to say is that what you were supposed to do was file with us for municipal extension to use that because you have stipulations that said that you did not have any outside, no sidewalk cafe, no rear yard, no anything. And that was part of what you were supposed to do. So technically, that's not supposed to, like, you're not supposed to be serving. You can have that roadway out there. We can't control that.
Yeah.
There's not supposed to be any service of alcohol.
Okay, yes,
So-
yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
work on
work
that
on
as
that
soon as
as
possible.
soon as possible.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
I think they'll take that notice. I mean, this is alteration application.
No, I know, but this is our opportunity to have them be in compliance, and they're not in compliance because they shouldn't be serving alcohol out there, because they should have filed for an extension to do that, and they did not do that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not in compliance with the very specific advisory that the Liquor Authority issued for COVID. And you haven't taken any steps, but this is going to be the conflict that's coming up, and it would be better to address it sooner than later.
Sure. We have noticed it.
Before that, because, you know, we've raised this with the members of the authority and then council, that we have a significant number of locations that have the explicit stipulations that say that, you know, outside service of alcohol, and we have not pursued that during COVID, understanding the complications, even though they're in violation of the Liquor Authority's guidance, and that they're not supposed to be serving in that area. And it would probably, given the overwhelming nature of what's going to be happening in the next few months, in your interest to resolve it sooner than later.
Makes sense. Thank you.
You know, I'm just bringing that to your guys' attention. And that goes with, I'm sure, some of the other clients of yours as well.
Yeah, and the thing that I would say, and not just you, but to bring back your team, is the next time you're before the panel, we're going to remind you of this conversation and ask what you did about it, so.
Yeah, this is my first time in front of the.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. So I will definitely bring that back to my team. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, the next application is going to be EVJR, doing business as D'Amelio, 293 Mott. Oh, we need, I don't, you didn't add anything, right? No, no. You know what I'm gonna say is, I think 3 to 5 copies. You don't need to bring more than 3 to 5. I mean, if I tell you to only bring 3, we're gonna need 4, and then I'll be in trouble. I prefer not to waste the paper.
Good evening. Joseph Levy here on behalf of EVJR. I have with me the applicant principal, Emilio Vitolo Jr. The application, and Michael Scarpati is another counsel for the applicant here. The application before you is an upgrade application to move this license class from tavern wine to full liquor. You may recall we were before you probably about 18 months ago or so, maybe less than that, 15 months ago. Seeking a beer and wine license for this space. It's been operational. I think today's the 1-year anniversary, right? So one year in business with a beer and wine license. If you recall I'll just kind of review the nuts and bolts of it for you. This is a small space, 9 tables, 36 seats, 1 bar, 10 seats, background music, no outdoor space. This is around the corner from Emilio's Gelato, which is his family's restaurant. He's been working there 7 days a week for as long as he can remember. So he knows the corner, his family's there, they have a liquor license over there. He wanted to open this little wine bar around the corner as a place where people can go for a glass of wine or beer, a glass of champagne before dinner or after dinner. He's successfully done that. He's looking to upgrade the bar program from beer and wine to full spirits. The hours of operation, 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. 7 days. Is he open completely from 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. 7 days? No. There's a time in the morning he's open for coffee, and then he activates the bar concept around 5 o'clock or so each day. So there's a middle part of the day that at this point is dead. There's just no traffic. But as you guys know, we can't do segments of hours throughout the day. It has to be the earliest to the latest. As far as we're aware, there are no complaints, no issues, no violations. We have a fair amount of support there in the form of letters, petition signatures. Emilio himself lives right upstairs with a brand new baby. So if anyone's going to be disturbed by this place, it's going to be him more than anybody else. And it's generally a pretty quiet, pretty tight, small space. And we'd like the opportunity to increase the bar offerings.
Okay, so the one thing I'm going to just throw out to try to cut to the chase here is we had asked for 11 and 12 for the hours originally. And now you're looking to upgrade, so I'm wondering if we can do some kind of compromise on the hours to not have it be 2 a.m.
So if you remember, the later hours were the most important factor to Emilio last time because he wanted to capture that post-dinner crowd. So he was happy to try to make beer and wine work with the later hours as opposed to trying to get the full bar and try to go earlier. And the later hours are still important. There are residents around here. We haven't had any complaints from anyone. I don't know if you guys have, but we're not aware of anything. And, you know, he's proven he can do it responsibly for a year, which is a pretty decent track record coupled with.
It's a little different when you just have beer and wine, and now this goes to the public interest.
Sure.
Did not have was clearly stated at the full board.
Sure, and I would just draw upon his experience in the community, good license history right next door for many, many years, and the fact that he lives right there, he's offering something that's a little bit different. You know, small, intimate environment, 1920s, 30s theme, background music, that kind of thing.
We're not going to. So it's 2 a.m. There's no flexibility, at least there's no earlier Sunday to Wednesday or Sunday to Thursday or anything like that. You can 2 a.m. 7 days. Just so that we're, that's, you know, just so we're.
What time?
With the beer and wine in the later hours.
And that was
specifically said that you knew
that was part of the calculus. That was part of the calculus.
But now we're talking, it's not just beer and wine.
Right.
So where is the negotiation? I'm just.
Yeah. Sure, I fully understand. I want to throw that one out. Monday, Tuesday.
I think just to, obviously nobody's mentioned, but just throw out that if it was 1 o'clock, 7 days a week, I think that that's a very realistic compromise, but I just want to read what was said. And if you want to hear it, you don't have to, but it was very clear to us that was the only way to make the wine because, you know, what it was. And I appreciate it. It's absolutely valid point. One of the things we talked about in the process before we got here. And whether, you know, the full liquor is going to be important. And if that was going to be important, then it could be more of an uphill battle. And we'd have to give up some hours to make that a reality, if it was even possible. So I'm just, and you know, and even Chair Fans said the approval that because of the standards for beer and wine. But I just, I think this is not different from the discussion that we had. I mean,
no,
we can rehab
so
the discussion.
no,
I
agree, but
and
the
I
only
think that
the only slight difference I'll make is that, you know, I think the anticipation at the original hearing was this was always going to be the plan and we were always going to do this. And the reality is this wasn't always going to be the plan. The reality was they thought they could make this work legitimately. And I don't think that translated with the board. It seemed very much like you guys were like, oh, we know what you're going to do. And they really did try to make this work. And it's not working quite as well as they would have liked, which is why we're back. But can we reduce some hours? That's
maybe on Sunday or Monday, everybody's on an earlier note, moves to the restaurant, so.
I don't know if you guys have been to the restaurant before, but what ends up happening is there's a line
that forms right on Houston Street to get into sorry. There's a line that forms in front of Houston Street to get into the restaurant. So now what I've been doing is I'm open at 5, and everybody who's waiting online, they come in, they have a couple of glasses of wine while they're waiting for a table, so they're not freezing outside. And if they want to come back afterwards, after they're done with their meal, which the majority of the time they do, then they hang out probably until like maybe 1:30, something like that. And they're out to my guys are cleaning up. Stores are shut by 2 a.m. But it is an earlier crowd on Sundays and Mondays. So if you guys do shut a little bit earlier.
That's what we were saying at the 1 o'clock. I think it captures a lot of room across a lot of the nights, and it's still the freedom without in that last hour is really what the issue is. I think, I don't know, I don't speak for anybody else, I'm just saying that's a.
So if you give us just.
Sure. Is this the last one? And just, we can re-entertain the later hours, obviously, should you choose to come back later.
That's what we were just talking about.
And we understand the balance of the position, what things stand right now, which everybody knows. Terrible situation with the New York State Liquor Authority.
So. Well, for me, Sundays and Mondays is like family day for me, so that's when I hang out with my daughter. My daughter's 7 months old, so, I'm looking to have any people in front of the building soliciting, and I don't want any drama in that regard in the neighborhood. I've been in the neighborhood my whole entire life. I grew up on Spring between Elizabeth and Mott, and now I live directly above the space. So, if you guys want to make a deal, I'm willing to make a deal for Sunday and Monday, because I know those aren't busy, crazy busy days. If you're willing to make a deal with that, I'm okay with it.
I think the point is that the freedom of 2-1, because of what you're saying about look, it doesn't go unregistered.
Sure.
What has happened in the restaurant. You made a very good point that you close at a particular time, and that's when people leave. Sometimes they're there a little later, but we're not looking to overmanage it. But the issue is the 1 to 2.
Yeah.
And that's the impact.
So is there a scenario where we could close at 1 Sunday through Wednesday, keep the 2 Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Remember, if we pursue a temporary permit, that temporary permit's gonna have us stop selling at midnight anyway until the full license gets issued. So we'll have it run while you'll kind of be able to see what you do, where there will be, for lack of a better term, a probationary period, because we'll be on a temp.
And that was also supposed to be during the beer and wine period, which it wasn't, right?
What do you mean?
During the temps, originally, it was supposed to be the limited hours.
Not true, only for full liquor. Yeah. So we're happy to make that today if the board's okay. Sure.
So you're saying 1 a.m. Sunday, Wednesday, 2 a.m.
Just so I don't discuss it. 1 a.m. Sunday.
Keeping the 2 a.m. Thursday through Saturday.
Okay.
Dr. Smith, go ahead.
I noticed in your application, and you have 36 occupancy seats, right? 36 people.
36 seats.
36, right. But why do you in your application want to have 2 security on the weekends?
So the security was for soliciting for people waiting if they happen to be waiting outside. Now, I do have guys that work on the inside that ever had, was an issue that they addressed it right away, because I promised that nobody would be outside and no one would be soliciting on that block, because it is a very
quiet block, and it's on the same block, you know, as my restaurant on the other side. It's always been quiet over there, and I'm gonna keep it quiet there because I live upstairs. So I hired two guys on the premise just to watch and make sure nobody's standing outside. If I ever happen to have like too many people, you know, try and show up, which has not happened. It just doesn't happen.
And it's also worth noting that there were a couple of issues very early on where people were defacing the property and there was some vandalism in the property, so we had to hire the guards initially, and we want to keep that element away from this corner.
Two broken windows to that place and tons of graffiti, so.
Yeah. Cormac, did you have anything?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, we're good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, then the last is just this Jing Fong Restaurant at 202 Center Street. It's a restaurant wine. They came to us in February 2023, and per advisory 2022-20, they're adding the basement storage for their liquor to their license. There's no patron use of the basement or any other changes. I waived the appearance. There's no reason for them to sign anything new because nothing has changed. Any business. And okay, let's take a break and come back for business.
We're having this.
Everybody's talking about the corner to that. But they also have to talk about the kind of corner to that. The corner, when the one is the corner, they bring the square.
Because we shouldn't get.
That's not saying. Japanese, Was it yeah, we zoomed. But it was one. Yeah, it was very nice. It was very nice. I mean, I was surprised that we, because I think that they did not for the conflict they then we, you know, because we're meeting That's the right. The I think it's saying we want to something about and that's not the giant. It's just maybe because you're It's really warm. Susan,
Hey, Susan, we want to go home.
okay, let's just start again.
In the room?
Okay. So the first one is Raoul. Small expansion. Yeah. Small. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It did occur to me on the first month that I was like, huh, these stipulations are 7 years ago, maybe we look at that, and then clearly the context hasn't changed, that stuff. It's still falling out.
Other areas. They do a good job. I have Matt said a little bit about the dialogue function thing. Okay. So, yeah, that's in the same thing. Okay, the second one is, okay, on that. And that's, last thing from our restaurant line to an on-premise. You know, we've been there 2 years.
I think everything is there.
Yeah.
If that stops. Right, they all of their.
Yes, it's all.
Across, but across. You may not ask them, us, I'm over it. It's not intent to do. No, they do that.
So, are you saying the should say, or?
Remember, we have.
Right.
Which, you know, participated in. But just at the 10 p.m. It includes any of the street closure around. The other, you know, it's engineer, all of that.
Okay.
Because this is what are they called now? It's not over and all, it's just an open street. Media. So just including it. And that's still unclear in the book. Yeah. Yeah, no, I can't see it all. I can't see it all.
Okay, so we're denying us? Yeah. Okay, the next one is, Bonnie at 75 10 there, that was also a class change. Sushi place. That one, they had some sidewalk stairs in it, and also put something to the effect of that any future, there will be no road there, and any future sidewalk meeting will close at 10 p.m.
It calls back to the third, but it's brought a great question about the it's changed. Right? It's hard.
Just look at it. I don't want to.
Right.
It's changed. I did first I don't, and I'm like, what's going on with the device? There will be entirely new.
Yeah.
People are serious.
Right.
Oh.
Right. That would be right.
Yeah, but just it's other services.
Right, yeah. It's not like anything. Okay, so denial us on that one? Yeah. Okay, the next one was, Noho neighbors. Yeah.
Just as a reminder, we already looked about this last month. And they said, we're going to buy. And they said, we don't believe in it. We don't believe in it. And right, I think there's one to be.
Yeah, well, last time.
Yeah.
No, I know we had one of those.
Right.
Because there's so much here.
Sure.
But then when they said they spoke to 6 experts, and they finally said that they could change the building, I mean, that was.
Right.
It sort of means that I mean, I think for the one gentleman who spoke, I am small. Well, we got it over there, we couldn't make it there, but, quiet, small restaurants, or if you go to sushi, on a coffee place or something like that.
Because there were 2 ways to go. You could go higher and smaller, right? Or you could go massive. He's right, in the bed, and like, the thing, I really appreciate it, that they did make a real effort to try to do something. And the many changes with it, from the back below.
It's not product.
I look at the blue, I thought they call it burger.
Permanent product.
But I look at the blueprint, the, whatever they call those layouts. I mean, that front, whatever they say, what the intention is. You just look at the construction, that's it, right? You're gonna be bottom. But here's the thing, I really appreciate the effort that they made, but I was so concerned with the thing that is like, yeah, but this just seems to me, from what I'm hearing, this location, it cannot be made to work with this. And it doesn't matter if it's exactly like this, because that was changed in 20 years, and the code has changed. And I just don't know that it's appropriate. And I mean, obviously, also give me, they didn't make any point with me, basically, just getting to attack people who disagree with that,
Yeah.
So I went with the neighbors and walked through that extension space and saw the, I looked right from the corner and I talked about the neighbors and, I think that might even is something I didn't even think about. Not only is this two spaces, it's 3, but they have to kind of combine. One of which is a garage, and you have to create an egress and walkway egress.
Right.
The new space would actually keep an office in the behind, would keep an office for the property owner in there. It's a lot of, there's a lot of issues that I think, this is right, and it's a complication. I a couple of neighbors were not convinced that the combination of spaces was possible. And I pointed out, retaining some very knowledgeable, and expediters, and they say it is. And just in discussion, this is one of those situations that you don't know until it's done. If everything is when it's all put together, you can file individual permits for all the jobs. They can get approved, but we put it all together, and that's what the neighbors would come in. And then also the fencing. I just looked in, it doesn't seem to be in the filings that fence is even okay to begin with. And, you know, I haven't thought about it. You know, it's like one of the letters. You couldn't put in this situation. So even, and then there's no, as pointed out, you can't get you to look at it until it's operated, so you can't even file a complaint.
Right.
And so it's a lot of issues. And then on top of that, I looked at the filings from what the old agreements with the other places on the street, and both addressed there have been issues with the challenge. If you remember across the street, it's also on top of the story.
It's hard because the block is just a mix of low and high rise and that sort of thing. But I mean, I'll say that all of the building issues, I agree with you with it. You know, how it's crappy. But I mean, on that, I'm willing to take them to like, you know, we have experts who go through the okay. But the bottom line of the thing, a month ago, the landlord told us we had people in experts in. It's as a matter of physics, it can't be done. This time they came and said, we had more people, and they told us there's no amount of money in the world. Can do this. So what they're proposing to do is to have a place with, you know, and I also felt with a good point he made that we said, you know, capacity, it's not like strike, you know, it's a small thing. But if any place out is gonna have a standard capacity, it's better to use was an antiquated vending system, right, that you could not install today, would not pass the code today. And the venting has been an issue and a problem already. It is an issue and a problem. And we can't fix it or operate it because we can't touch this antique. I get that that's a problem for them and it sucks, but I'm kind of sitting here like, I guess you can't have a restaurant in this space.
And to your point, if you review the folder, the letter from the last time in 2019, the solution was the same for the full space that it all the seafood.
Right, and then they now, that wasn't again.
The regular food. No, that was the solution to this as part of the compromise. And these were all the same people involved in this block of all the buildings and everything. And I think that they were also concerned with respect to the doubling of the capacity. And it was just a little bit of relaxation in the later hours and what that brings a little different environment in the later hours. That impact. I mean, it's very interesting when you put all the parts together, which is the issue, you know, here is.
I mean, there's no question to me that if it went in, there would be some upside for some people. There's a lot of people who suffer great deal. You know, it's going to deteriorate quality of life. Now, I do. I mean, I was once in we had at one point a venting issue. Maybe really right where I am, down the block when with the barbecue place, you know, BBQ. I'm university thing.
Yeah, right.
They had they vented right on the sidewalk. You know what I'm saying? And aside from the fact that it's just like walking by and it's like this and killed the sea that is planted there. There are people who live above that in that before east complex and man, they had to keep their windows closed all the time.
These people think the same thing.
And the other issue too is the firehouse that they have in the firehouses. So what happens in the evenings is that the goes over into the fireway. Then the trucks can't go out if they get a call. And living when I don't see it all the time, but if it happens, they go out there and they blast the sign to get them to move, they're waiting for somebody, and it's like, it's one thing that's going
That's the problem there, that problem, what this will be got.
right, and exactly, and I would just do a lot of things. I mean, it's just, it wasn't just.
And there might be some people in the individual building that don't have it, every time you swallow their competitive. You know, we need there is to show.
And these are the
But that's.
same buildings.
And so the island.
And Zella and camera out and doing it, and still, some of the people involved in that, still vocally spoke up with the government application, with some of these issues as well.
Well, I know, but even like, the people who came who were around the parent. One thing that you remember, they all said, oh, well, I don't get this.
Yeah.
Right, so, yeah, they're more amenable to it than the people who do. It's like, when you get people from the building, people like, I don't mind, I don't have a problem with the street noise from this particular restaurant or bar. I'm like, oh, where's your problem? Well, we in the back. Yeah, okay.
And then the reason just that the smells on one side is because once you blow, there's nothing to the right of the space, or from left to the north. When the wind blows, it runs right over the building line. It's a microclimate of the block. We all know in New York City, in front of the corner, when the city raising the base, because the wind gets pushed around, blows the one that's being blocked. And then, just to point that's why some people have these issues with that. I was, as part of the dialogue, this is from along in the email, it's interesting that they tried to get precipitator from the small problem, and that's because it's not 10 feet.
But not 10 feet
off the ground of the roof, and I mean, that's what it is, and it's unfortunate, that that's the case.
Yeah,
Yeah. People already denied.
In my climate, like, my whole life, I had one story, taxpayer across the street now, they're now, constructing 6-story plus mechanical building directly across, and I'm waiting to see what the impact's gonna be on not old wind and things on my.
Say nothing about the sun or my block sun.
Well, it already does, the sunset's over there, it's like they'll lose a couple hours of sunset, it'll not count out. Sometimes it will depend on the day of sunset, and I've already subjected.
Yeah.
That's the feel about it, but what do you gonna do? That's what they did, Listen, I made sure the building was built in such a way that there cannot be. I wasn't born yet.
Okay, next one was the, Adrian Falcone, Arbonne Hospitality, 56 Spring, with the diagram that didn't match up to the seating that they said they were doing, so they're laying over it.
Yeah.
Okay, then the next one is ING Global, the one on the Bowery,
Another issue.
No, it's a barbecue.
Barbecue.
It is, and I think, it's not many, yes, and they do, I mean, it's pretty, they've been planning on opening in the city, if you look at the website for the past few years. That, they said opening in 2020, and then I think COVID, In this location? I don't know, because it didn't say, it has listening bars. But they said United, they switched it because of the new building, so, it's not so much, I think I put the website, in I can email you all, it's kind of worth looking at, because they did do extensive training of they do a whole education with everybody, they sort of food. So, and originally what they had said was that the applicants wouldn't be able to come because they're coming over from Japan, and so that's what they did. I said we can deal with that, they Zoom with the community, because that's, we can't Zoom here, so, they did that after the food said they.
I just love the new bill. I mean,
Yeah.
noise issues get cut 50% being in New York.
And the reservations already, and 40 people already.
And the hours.
And the hours, like a 30.
On construction hours. Particularly residential. Yeah, which is. Hours.
And then type it's
Here in line. Thing, I'm okay.
They said the same thing, I should have said, we say only Japanese whiskey, but for example, once in the street, there are stipulations that only Japanese. Right.
I will say that the difference though is that that's on a heavily residential.
Right.
And I'm not saying just there are people here, but there's a little bit.
Right.
There's a little bit more room for vehicle traffic, it's the main issue. So the other, and it's not to say it's a really good neighborhood. And, you know, living right around the corner, the venues, there's a business that is very good. And the reservation style, it's very well back.
Right.
So he wasn't gonna make it gather all the way from the end.
Yeah.
To the thing. He did it kind of so far, right?
We'll see how that goes. Okay, movies, 219 Mulberry, all the way then.
Yeah.
Just,
I mean, the only ongoing issue here has been what's been brought up.
and then no kind of uses it, you know.
And you know, when you typically ask for the sign of circulation, I think that we provide them.
Okay, and then the last one is EVJR. That's the upgrade.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't like it. I mean, first of all, 1 year into the first thing, like this property.
It is.
Part of the explicit reason for those hours was that it wasn't collected. Right,
And
and,
they know that.
right, and basically, like, the person cracks don't want that give back, and then they give back the offer on Sunday and Monday, and I'm kind of, you know, I just don't think it's anywhere good. So,
Well, they tell that you're that, you know, that.
we asked them last time, I think we were paying for 11 o'clock, right? Carter offered the right here, one, across the board,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't go, so.
I think
I think that's reasonable. I mean, you know, I would like that, because they grew up, they went up to the board, that the license, and I went back and said that can be last time. And, you know, they gave them the 2 AM, but they also said it because of, that it was a wine license and not the standard of full liquor license.
and this was a reconfiguration of the store.
Yeah.
Why we needed.
Not any.
You know,
That's the other thing. The basic premise right here is, we, you know, Joseph would say, we tried, we can't make it work. Well, like when I used to do office visits, like I have a little stuff, right? If you visit is working, and so desperately looking for a full liquor license to bail it out, that's not a good way to get a full license. This is basic. This is a good chance, and then you're stuck with a location that's 40 an hour, and a full license. You know, and.
I also think that saying that they didn't have any problems is you're more likely to have problems with the public, but definitely like them they were with your one license. Absolutely. So I don't think that standard will necessarily go.
Like, anyone we tell people, you know, you come back, and I mean, it's after John, you've been doing this a couple of years, you've shown yourself a good neighbor, you have a track record, you have made it going to good business with it.
So if you want to. No, I mean, I think that there's a lot of consideration to the circumstances here, that we're living there. But the real concern is that trying to, you know, the one next point, if they're reconfiguring the business, that's gonna really be the test and impact. And if they come back to the beginning of the year again, I'm not sure I would necessarily reject that, because, you know, I think that this is an extension of what we discussed this at night.
Yeah.
You know, and I went back and I put the transcript in from our meeting, you know, our discussion, everybody here, you know, participated in discussing.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, you know, I know this is a bit old fashioned. It's a lot of cheek to come back here only 12 months of operations after that conversation was 15, 16 months ago. 12 months of operations to come back and ask again for,
Well, it does sound like.
you know,
We think to survive.
that's, I think it's a desperation. And I don't like, I do,
I just want to say, I did jump out and offer.
Yes.
But I thought it was very, because I didn't really want to be passionate conversation, because I actually have a lot of respect for the operator and what he's trying to do. I'm just concerned about his impact.
But Don, what about operating from the one o'clock?
Well, we did.
We did, and he said, no, I can just do what we did sort of, with not all neighbors, and said the committee voted to deny, unless, I mean, no.
Why don't we know if there's anything necessary to change? I mean.
But I should, no, I wouldn't say it.
Because you're not in the.
Let's just back up 1 second, take 2 hours, Sunday to Wednesday, 1 AM, and 2 AM Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I can go back and think. We appreciate you reduce the hours those days, because we was wrong with the hours to be 1 AM, or 1 AM, 7 days a week, otherwise.
And this is.
It's on the application, it's not a- Right.
Just to realize that it's not a focus on. You know, there is not a presence for the space, very specifically in relates to the media realm or in that type of environment. And operating very much in the TV style. And so it does have a low impact, but if you go by, it's there, but you know, this is the issue is that I think this is not unreasonable. And I know it's certainly something we could consider.
I mean, I'd like to see how they operate in the like, because I think if it's a whole vendor, and this community really a whole different thing. And although it's on a very quiet block. Yeah, and well, and I walked by it, but I don't know. 6 months ago or so, just to get another time,
Actually, right, it's very quiet, and this is the whole, this is precisely the conversation you bring around.
Yeah.
On Mott Street, because right around one of them, you have the restaurant, the bar, and then you have, or the bar against the stairs, and both of them, like, one of them, we see the opposite house of owners, and regular, it's also in the middle. And those are both of those places where okay, where they are.
Right.
But the whole everything around, people walk on and whatever it is.
So, John, I want to do this, I think, it's not, it's a.
Deny.
Yeah, accept the tab, and we had the line that's just denied.
So those,
So are we all okay with that? Yes. Now, just before the Jing Fong, everybody's okay with the basement before.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. The design of that is good because they know where.
Donna, if you. Now, resolution. I would look at the agenda.
I was happily, partner was expanding. I'm going to make it a little bit
Thank you. It's back to the.